guys, welcome back to the FanDuel and DraftKings NBA value plays for today, 12/23/16. 2 days until Christmas, 1 day until my wife's birthday, Christmas Eve. It's just been an absolute crazy week here between Christmas shopping, getting ready, stuff breaking in the house, and then birthdays for my family. It's been just a chaotic week, but a good one, and this weekend should be fantastic. Either way, tonight is a fantastic night of NBA. An amazing 14-game slate. And you just can't get more full and bloated than this. I'm definitely going to be kind of splitting up some of the entries as well. I'm going to be doing some night games, probably some turbos. When there's this many games, sometimes it's nice to chop it up. I don't know if it feels the same, but I kind of prefer that 5 to 8 game range playing slates. It's just sometimes when they're so full, it's just so hard to build a lineup that you love across the board, and also minimize lineups. Slates like this, I tend to want to just get ownership of everyone in some way, and that makes me want to build 10-15 lineups, and that's more often than not hasn't turned out as well for me, at least. Someone who has bankroll like I do, and hopefully I'm assuming that many of you too aren't really high rollers who are willing to just drop hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars every night. So that's just my input there on tonight's slate, but it's a good one, and there's a lot of good matchups here. Vegas lines aren't completely in yet, again, as always, with injuries and whatnot. It's bright and early here in Minnesota, so we're just going to kind of get into the value plays here, and stay tuned for the actual written post coming out later. That should have more depth and information on it. Vegas lines will be in by then, and we'll be able to make a few changes and whatnot in there. But for now, to just kind of get you started, we'll go right into it here. So at the point guard position, I'm looking at Deron Williams. First and foremost, the Mavericks are in LA facing the Clippers. He's $5,600 on DraftKings tonight, and he's probably my favorite value play of the night. Deron Williams has just been amazing, lights out. He hasn't played less than 32 minutes in the last 10 games, and he's averaging a fantasy point a minute. So it's kind of simple math there to assume that Williams has kind of been a lock for 32 points a game, and basically he has been. He's only scored under 27 DK points twice, or actually once, in his last 10 games. His price is just, I think, still too low at $5,600, especially on DraftKings. And he's just a safe play until he has one of these clunkers, or a couple of them in a row. I'm going to keep rolling him out there at this price if I'm not paying up for point guard across the board. Some sites like FanDuel and Yahoo, where you can use or need to use more than one point guard, or can use more than one point guard. Williams, I love using him in those type of situations. Let's see, we had him projected at 34 points on DraftKings tonight, and his usage rate's about 25.5, and like I said, he's averaging a fantasy point a minute, so Williams is a solid play there. If you want to go a little riskier and a little cheaper, you can look at Darren Collison, who's facing off against my Minnesota Timberwolves tonight, $4,700 on DraftKings. The Wolves are 21st ranked team in DVP, allowing a whopping 52.7 points to the position. So Collison should be in a pretty good spot. The problem is he's a little risky lately. His last 3 games, his minutes have actually took a bump, or a hit, I should say. So play with a little bit, like a little exclamation point in your head, knowing that there's some more risk here than with Collison and obviously the upper tier point guards. But if you're willing to take a little risk, he can still produce. He's averaging 0.94 fantasy points a minute. So if he gets up to those 30 minutes plus tonight, he could be in a really good spot. We got him projected for above 30 minutes tonight, and he's got coming in at 28.2 points on DraftKings. We got him projected. So I think he can do that tonight. I think that's going to be a close game. Probably something Collison will be involved in heavily tonight in Minnesota. Moving on to the shooting guard, I'm going to my guy Sean Kilpatrick here of the Brooklyn Nets. facing off against Cleveland. He's only 4,700 on DraftKings. The Cavs are 22nd in DVP. They're allowing 38.8 points to the shooting guard position. Kilpatrick's only projected to play 27 minutes tonight, and 0.93 fantasy points a minute kind of makes that a little riskier, but at that price it's not terrible. His usage rate's high enough, 18.2, that I think he's a solid enough play. He's only scored under 20 DK points twice in his last 6 games, and the main concern here is you got to hope that the Nets can keep this game close, that it's not a blowout. Keep your eyes on Kevin Love if he's back, or if the Cavs are resting guys. They tend to do that in matchups like this. If they do, then Kilpatrick's value will only go up. If all three are playing, the risk of blowouts there, and you just never know. But Kilpatrick makes a solid enough value tonight at the shooting guard position if you're not paying up. Another option who's a little bit more, and a guy who's been playing very, very well, is Gary Harris, the Denver Nuggets, who's facing off at home against the Hawks tonight. 4,900 on DraftKings. The Hawks are 28th in DVP. They're allowing 39.6 points to the position. Harris has got a solid usage rate there for a shooting guard of 19.83. And as we all know with the Hawks, they like to play up tempo and fast. And this game should stay pretty close. I think Atlanta's going to be favored to win here, but the Nuggets have been playing decent enough basketball, staying in games, that I think Harris will be heavily involved here. He's projected for 32 minutes tonight, and he should meet his 5x value at least, if not, more than that. We have projected at 28.48 points tonight. So Harris makes a good value play as well at shooting guard. If you want to use both of them, even on FanDuel, you can probably really load up in other positions, get a few of those stars in your lineups. Small forward. I'm getting a pretty terrible cold here, so pardon my voice, but small forward, Kent Bazemore, the Hawks, in that same game, this time facing Denver Nuggets on the other side. 5,400 on DraftKings for Bazemore. The Nuggets have been actually pretty good against the small forwards. They're ranked 4th in the DVP and only allowing 38.1 to the position. So needless to say, this is a little risky just because of that. But Bazemore has been very good. He's been playing heavy minutes with 35 projected tonight. His usage rate's a whopping 22.64 and averaging 0.85 fantasy points a minute. So you figure you add that up, and if 35 minutes, he should be a lock for almost 30 points tonight. At least on DK DraftKings, and he's just been playing heavy minutes, and I think that's just a good play. If 5,400, it's a little more spendy for a value play. He's kind of top of the line there, right on the edge of being a mid tier. But Bazemore, I like him a lot tonight. Another guy who's probably going to be pretty chalky, who's been playing very well, is Luol Deng, the Lakers in Orlando tonight. 4,900 on DraftKings. He's projected to play 36 minutes. We got him at, and put up 30.6 DraftKings points. Deng has been, as I said, playing very well as of late. He's playing the 30th ranked team in DVP tonight in the Magic, and he's just in a good spot again. His usage rates isn't fabulous. It's 12.92, but with this offense in the Lakers, he's been playing 32 minutes easily over his last 6 games or more, and he hasn't scored less than 21.5 points in his last 8 games. So Deng's been playing very, very well, and he just gets it done across the board. 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and 13 points scored in his last game last night against Miami. It is a back-to-back if you're worried about stuff like that, but I think Deng should be all right at least to play his projected 35 minutes that he has been averaging over the last 10 games. So we'll move on to power forward here. We got Marvin Williams, the Hornets against the Bulls, $4,700 on DraftKings. The Bulls are the 20th ranked team in DVP. And they're allowing 48.2 points to the power forward position this year. He's got a usage rate of 15.6, and projected for 30 minutes tonight. He's averaging just under a fantasy point a minute, 0.9. So he should be a lock for about 27 to 30 points tonight. We got him projected at 27 points. But Williams has been playing very well. Kind of like Dang. I mean, over his last 10 games, he's been just kind of consistent. He's put up 24.8, 33, 24.5. He had one stinker in there with a 10, and then 23.5 DK points over his last 5 games. So as long as he gets the minutes and is shooting decently, he's been getting 10 shots a game over his last 3. He just gets rebounds consistently, 5 or more over his last 3 games. And, he's another guy who just kind of sneakily fills the stat sheet and isn't a really flashy player. So I think he gets overlooked a lot in DFS, and I'm going to be rolling him out there tonight. I think this is a really good spot for Marvin Williams. The other guy I'm looking at power forward is going to be Enes Kanter. Kanter is kind of a risk-reward guy. He doesn't play a ton of minutes, and that's usually kind of concerning. But what I do like is guys when they either don't play a lot of minutes or come off the bench to produce in that time and have heavy usage rates. So even if they're only playing 18 to 20 minutes, if they're getting 20 plus DK points because of they're out with the second unit and just being used a lot with that unit, that's a good thing. In his last game against New Orleans, he played 34 minutes and put up 37.5 DK points. You can't complain there. The week before, or the game before that, only 15 minutes, but he put up 19.75 DK points. 14 minutes and 21.2 DK points in that game against Phoenix, 7 days ago or so. So his price has gone up a little bit because of his slight increase in minutes. But, 21st ranked team in DVP, allowing 50.3 points to the position. We got him projected for only 20 minutes tonight, but he's averaging 1.2 fantasy points a minute. And just a really heavy usage rate of 26.99. So I really like Kanter for, a value play tonight at power forward. Minutes aside, it doesn't, I shouldn't say it doesn't matter, but he should be able to easily meet value tonight at this price, $4,500. All right, and to wrap it up, we're going to look at the center position. We'll go to my guy Tyson Chandler. He's coming in at $5,000 on DraftKings, and he's facing the 19th ranked team in DVP tonight. They're allowing 52.4 points to the center position. His usage rate isn't great. It's 11.5, but what he does do is he fills the other stat sheets and categories, and he's averaging over a fantasy point a minute, which you gotta love, and projected for 31 minutes tonight. So we got him right at his projection here, 31.31 points on DK. We got him projected at. His last game was a dud, so especially if you're playing these DK tournaments or tournaments in general on any site, people may be off of him after his stinker in Houston. He only played 20 minutes and only took 1 shot. He got 11 points. So, but before that, you're looking at 24, 23.2, 16.5, 46.2, 40.7, and 21.5 and 30. He was kind of like on a really good hot streak there. So hopefully recency bias will kind of get people off of him, and you can really go cheap here at 5K for a center who's kind of been consistent and a lock to produce a fantasy point a minute this season. So with that, I will let you guys go. I will wish you all good luck and happy holidays. Merry Christmas this weekend. I hope everyone wins some money tonight and tomorrow in football and possibly their seasonal leagues. It's just a fun and good time of year to be with family, eat a lot of food, eat a lot of cookies, and always be nice to wrap it up with some extra money in your wallet. So good luck, everyone. Stay tuned to Daily Fantasy Cafe as always for the written post coming up and for other great content on there using our optimizer, minutes to win it, and Vegas lines, and just all sorts of good stuff over there. So keep checking us out. Thanks for watching.